Hi, I'm Sherry.
I'm Sarah. We're coming back at you with some summer parenting tips.
Yes, and I've got a lot of good examples in my book, 10-Minute Power Tips for Parents, because usually parents just have about 10 minutes at one time to read. So anyway, you can order this through Amazon. And then also, some of the references we're using in this is from the book Sanity in the Summertime. And this book I've used this since you
I
were
was
little. Yes, very little. It has some great
It's been
ideas.
helpful for a decade.
Yes, absolutely. So some of the things I did with you and saw you do, Sarah's doing with her kids. So that's pretty cool. So last time we talked about having a purpose, setting some goals for the summer, because there's some extra time. Unless you fill every single day with lessons and stuff, you should have some extra time in the summer to spend with your kids, rather than just schoolwork all the time.
And maybe lessons is part of their goals.
Yes.
Like teaching your kids to swim, I know was top on your list
Yes.
and a lot of people's lists, because that can be a life or death situation.
Mm-hmm.
So swim lessons
That would
could be a good one.
top one. They're not going to drown on a soccer field, but you need to teach your kids, give them lessons so they know how to swim for sure.
Yes.
So, talked about 3 categories last time: goals for your kids, goals for you and your mate, for those of you who are married, and goals for yourself, things that you want to see happen in these 2.5 months that we have. Spending time, just maybe 1 or 2 in each category, because if we don't have a goal or a set,
Start with the end in mind.
Yes, start with the end in mind. Here's how I want to finish. So I need to have some steps and some goals to get there. So one of the goals that we talked about is how this can be such an important time to draw closer to your kids. So there's just some real practical things that you can do in the summer that you can't other times during the year in getting closer to your kids. But it all involves some planning, taking time to make some plans. It might be you talk to your kids, and one day a week is going to be Kids Day, or one morning a week, or one evening for those parents who both parents work. They get to pick the activity that they do. So for some kids, it might be going to a museum. It might be going to a park. It might be going on a picnic. Let's go on a picnic together. It might be letting the kids pick their favorite restaurant that they want to go to.
Movie, the zoo,
Yes,
tennis, pickleball.
Yes. Any activity, going swimming together. But they get to pick the activity that they would like to do. So it's a time where they get to choose, but also you're together enjoying the moment.
And I know for me, it's just putting it on the calendar. And I know I watched a video a girl did, and that's kind of how they do their scheduling. Instead of like a big bucket list, they might have a few things for that month, but then once she puts it on the calendar, they scratch it through. So whether it's coming up with a bucket list of things you want to do, but getting it on the calendar, because I know for us, if it's not on the calendar, it's not going to happen.
And also, so there aren't 3 other activities that day, and it gets bumped. So have that be the focal point.
And I think especially too for working parents, like maybe for you have a few kids, so Monday night so-and-so gets to pick, Wednesday night another kid, and Friday night or whatever, and how you kind of figure some of that out.
Yes.
And then you having sometimes you pick something you want to do. One thing we've been doing a little bit more is watching our home movies, which is airplane from our iPhone to the TV. But it's fun to watch old videos and pictures, through the years and stuff. But taking and making that time, because if you don't, it won't happen.
Yes. And letting the kids decide, that's the big thing. I get to decide this week or this day or for this 2-hour period, but letting each one of them have a turn, especially if you have more than one.
So Bryce recently decided to create a trooper day, and some of this was he had to gone through therapy, braces, some different things. And so we're like, okay, yeah, Trooper Day. And he's like, you have Mother's Day, you have Father's Day, I don't have a day.
We need a kid's day.
Anyway,
Yeah.
just Saturday, we redid that. We had Trooper Day again, but we also reminded him on Mother's Day or Father's Day, there's some moments like we get together as a family, because he was wanting every meal to eat out and every moment. And I'm like, Bryce, that's not practical. You have a certain amount for a budget, which he was
Yes.
getting creative. He's like, oh, maybe we could get Chick-fil-A cookies with your points. I'm like, good job, buddy. So anyway,
was
reminding them of moments, or like my
Yes.
mom was saying, maybe
Yes.
it's just an hour or two in the evening, or a special thing at dinner, or whatever.
Another thing you can let your kids pick is maybe a certain meal that they want and that they can help make.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you're doing it together, you're talking about it, you chop, you do this, you do that.
Yes.
So cooking together. It could be finger painting, it could be chalk art, but just an activity, it's like you said, that you get on the calendar that you are doing together, and that they help plan. So they're going to see it come about.
Awesome. All right, well, we have a few more tips and tricks for our summer series in the next few videos.